Hello everyone, Classic the Geek here, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another one of those Doctor Who episode reviews. I did the one with the Space Museum, and I quite enjoyed doing that, so I wanted to do another one. Today we're going to be talking about a new series story, a Capaldi story, the two-part Series 9 opener, The Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar. Now the day this should go out, which is the 26th of September, is the 5th anniversary of The Witch's Familiar, and Series 9 is now 5 years old. And so I wanted to talk about this story, but maybe not for the best of reasons. Let's get into the review. We start off the story on Skara during the 1,000-Year War, which we saw in Genesis of the Daleks, and this pre-title sequence is brilliant. The atmosphere, the battlefield, the hand mines, they're quite creepy, the planes, some of the soldiers getting killed off. It's really tense and creepy. And the young Davros, who we see, it's just this child in the midst of it, who obviously turns out to be Davros. And when the Doctor realises who it is, it's a proper sort of oh my god moment. And it's a great way to kick off the story. But after that really good cold open, the rest of part 1, The Magician's Apprentice, sucks, because nothing of note happened. You're visiting all these locations, you've got the Maldivorian, then you've got the Shadow Proclamation, then you've got the Sister of Khan, then you've got the Earth with Unit and Missy and the plane stopping, then you've got 12th century Essex with the Doctor on the tank, which I'll get onto. And by the time you actually get to Skaro, that took 35 minutes. I mean, I get having a bit of mystery, setting stuff up, but it does not need to take 35 sodding minutes. In that sense, it abuses the two-part format by making it just boring. And the fact that fans wanted more two-parters, and in Series 9 we got that, but it abused it, was quite unfortunate. Let's quickly talk about the tank moment. I genuinely think this is I don't like this moment at all. It's just so try hard and desperate to be cool, but it's just daft. Capaldi rocking up on a tank in the Middle Ages with a guitar and sunglasses. It's ridiculous, and it's so jarring from the Series 8 Capaldi to Series 9. It's just so forced and just cringeworthy. So when they get to Skara, there's loads of different Daleks. You've got the Bronze Daleks, the 60s Daleks, the Special Weapons one, the Dalek Sec, a Supreme Dalek, a Emperor Guard. But they don't really do anything. They are literally there just for fan service, and yeah, the Daleks are just pointless. It is more Davros' story here. Now, Davros returns here, played by Julian Bleach, and unlike when he was in the Stolen Earth, he's very maniacal, shouty. Here, he's quite subdued and quite restrained in his performance. And these scenes between the Doctor and Davros, I really like. It's these two old warriors representing both sides of the fight, and pondering over whether it was all worth it, the Time War and all that stuff. And it's really interesting to watch. Peter Capaldi and Julian Bleach at their socks off here. It's beautiful. Honestly, these scenes are beautiful. And then when Davros opens his eyes, it's really beautiful. Seeing Skaro's son one last time. It then turns out it's a trap! Davros was tricking the Doctor all along to get some regeneration energy for the Daleks. Now that's bad enough, but it also turns out the Doctor knew Davros was lying and was one step ahead the entire time. This infuriates me to no end because it just undercuts everything. All those lovely lines like, the Doctor saying, "I came because you're sick and you asked." All those lovely exchanges of dialogue, those lovely little scenes, they mean nothing. And it just ruins it completely. Another thing I want to talk about is Missy. Now, I really like Missy in this story. I think she's a lot of fun to watch, and in my opinion, she's the best master of the modern series. That's just my opinion, but I always find her fun to watch every time. She's got some cracking lines throughout, and her dynamic with Clara is quite interesting. I like the fact that she's sort of an anti-hero. She's sort of going along with the Doctor and Clara. Reminds me of sometimes that Roger Delgado's master would go with Pertwee, and, it was quite cool. But it's a really cool dynamic, I think. However, speaking of Missy and Clara, this brings me to a point of the story which I also really don't like. So as we get back to the Dalek City, Missy finds this Dalek in the sewers. She kills it, takes out the mutant, and tells Clara to get in it. And then it turns out that the casing is what controls the Daleks. Stuff like emotion fires the gun. It's their way of reloading. It translates stuff to "I love you" into exterminate. No! That's not what the Daleks are. Moffat, you've completely misunderstood the point of the Daleks. The casing doesn't control them, it's the mutant inside.
It's not the machines. It's the minds of the creatures inside them.
And the amount of plot holes and lapses in logic with this subplot is just ridiculous and just bogs it down. And finally, this story tries to bring back the do I have the right dilemma from Genesis of the Daleks. The whole reason, that whole argument, that whole dilemma is so effective in Genesis is that they present both sides of the argument. You've got Sarah Jane egging the Doctor on to kill the Daleks once and for all, but the Doctor hesitates. He's not sure whether he should do it. Even in stories like Resurrection of the Daleks, when the Doctor knows what he has to do, he still hesitates when pulling the trigger to kill Davros. Which is familiar, actually tries to answer that question. You know, if someone who knows the future pointed out a child to you and told you that child would grow up totally evil, to be a ruthless dictator who would destroy millions of lives, you saved the child. You saved the little Davros when he was young. No, it should not be a concrete answer. The reason why that scene works as well as it does is because there is no right or wrong answer. It presents both sides of the argument and lets you decide what's the right answer. It shouldn't be that clear cut. So Moffat has not only misunderstood that whole point of the scene in Genesis of the Daleks, but he's misunderstood the whole dynamic between the Doctor and Davros. So as you can tell, I'm really not a fan of this episode, and I would only give it a 4 out of 10. I'm not only fond of Series 9 in general, but I really don't enjoy the story. There is some good stuff to it and stuff that I enjoy, but the bad stuff definitely outweighs the good for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. What do you guys think of this story? Do you actually like it as opposed to me? Let me know in the comments as to why. What episodes do you want me to see me review in the future? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And this is Clack of the Geek signing out.